Ever feel like there's a massive delay between your brain and your body when you wake up? An aching back, stiff neck, tight hips? We've all been there. The truth is that as you get older, your mind wakes up, but your body still needs an extra signal to do the same. So let me show you exactly how a simple 8-minute routine can completely change the entire trajectory of how you feel throughout the day. Here's something that looks a little bit ridiculous but feels like magic. Qigong, shaking. If you've ever seen a dog shake off water after a bath, you've seen this in action. I told you it looks ridiculous, but wait till you see what it does for you. The goal here is to stand with your feet shoulder width apart and just start bouncing gently, letting the vibration travel all the way up through your calves, knees, hips, and shoulders. You aren't jumping off the ground, you're just creating a rhythmic tremor. Think of your body like a snow globe that's been sitting on a shelf all night. All the sediment, the metabolic waste, and stagnant fluid has settled at the bottom. This shaking literally wakes up your lymphatic system, which is the drainage network of your body. Research published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine suggests that this kind of rhythmic, whole-body vibration can improve circulation and actually help regulate your autonomic nervous system, moving you from that groggy fight-or-flight morning stress into a calm, focused state. It's a literal system reboot that takes about 60 seconds. Now we need to address the fact that most of us move like robots in a straight line all day. We walk forward, we sit down, we stand up, but our hips are ball and socket joints, meaning they were designed for 360 degrees of freedom. This is where the Cossack squat comes in. In my opinion, the inner thighs, otherwise known as the adductors, are some of the most neglected muscles in the male body. When these get tight, they pull on your pelvis and wreck your lower back. The goal here is to take a very wide stance and slowly sink your weight into one leg while keeping the other leg straight, toes pointed toward the sky. It's a deep lateral stretch that opens up the groin and forces your glutes to stabilize your weight in a plane of motion they rarely visit. It's like greasing the hinges on a door that's been stuck for a decade. Interestingly, there's a specific way to position your torso during this move that actually predicts how much pressure your lower spine takes during a heavy lift, which I'll show you later. For now, focus on keeping your chest up and your heel glued to the floor. By moving sideways, you're training the muscles that keep your knees from collapsing and your gait from becoming a shuffle. This is the difference between moving like a stiff statue and an actual athlete. Now, before we move into the upper body, I want to share something crucial. The guys who stay strong and injury-free into their 50s and 60s have built bodies that are resilient, not just big. That's actually why I created my ebook. It's a manual on how to build a resilient, injury-proof body by mastering these fundamental stability patterns. It covers the stuff most trainers skip, like deep core integration, hip mobility, and a lot more, so you can train hard without waking up feeling like you got hit by a truck. You can scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to check it out. It's the best investment you can make for your long-term fitness. Now, with the lower half primed, it's time to address the upper body disaster area. If you spend any time at a desk or behind a steering wheel, you're a prime target for bad posture. Your shoulders round forward, and your thoracic spine, which is just the middle part of your back, becomes a rigid curve. Wall angels are the antidote. The goal is to stand with your back against a wall, trying to keep your heels, butt, shoulders, and the back of your head in contact with the surface. Then, you slowly slide your arms up and down like you're making a snow angel, focusing on keeping your elbows and the back of your hands glued to the wall. It sounds easy until you try it. This move forces your scapula, which is the fancy word for your shoulder blades, to move through their full range of motion while your spine is held in a neutral position. A study in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science found that regular thoracic mobility work can significantly reduce neck pain and even improve your lung capacity because you're finally opening up the cage that houses your breath. Most guys lose their shoulder over head range by 40 simply because they stop reaching up. By fighting for that wall contact, you're telling your brain that it's safe to use the top half of your range again. It's like clearing out the junk folder in your nervous system so your arms can actually move without clicking. Since we've unbunched the shoulders, let's head down to the floor for the ultimate all-in-one move, the downward dog. By pushing your hips back and toward the ceiling while pressing your palms into the floor, you are creating a massive amount of decompression in the spine. Think of your spine like an accordion. All day long, gravity is pushing the bellows together. The downward dog pulls them apart. It stretches the entire posterior chain, which is the massive line of muscle and fascia running from the soles of your feet up to your calves, hamstrings, and lower back. The goal here is to imagine someone has a rope around your waist and is pulling you upward and backward. There is a ridiculously simple 2-second adjustment you can make during this move that can actually double the release you feel in your hips and it's the exact same tilt we'll need to master the final stretch, which I'll show you in just a second. Also, I have a completely free newsletter that I send out every week. I share quick fitness tips and the kind of in-the-trenches advice that I don't always have time to put into a full video. You can join the community by clicking the link in the description. While we're down here on the floor, we're going to transition from that pyramid shape directly into the cobra stretch. This movement is effectively the polar opposite of the desk slouch we spend most of our lives in. If you spend 8 hours a day hunched over a keyboard or watch a lot of TV on the couch, your spine is crying out for this specific move. The goal here is to lie flat on your stomach, place your hands directly under your shoulders, and gently peel your chest off the floor while keeping your hips in contact with the mat. We aren't trying to perform a power move or a push-up, we're trying to create a smooth, arc-like extension throughout the entire back. This provides a massive release to the hip flexors, the muscles at the front of your hips, and the abdominal wall, allowing your pelvis to finally sit back where it belongs instead of being tucked under like a scared dog's tail. Now here's that 2-second adjustment I promised you earlier. Most guys make the mistake of just jamming their lower back into a painful pinch just to get their chest higher off the ground. The pro move here is to actively drive your pubic bone into the floor and imagine you're trying to pull your tailbone toward your heels. This subtle, conscious tilt creates essential space in the lumbar spine, otherwise known as your lower back. Suddenly, the stretch stops being crunchy and starts happening in your mid-back and hips, where you actually need it. Researchers have established that maintaining this kind of spinal extension is a key predictor of long-term mobility, ensuring your spine remains a flexible conduit for movement, rather than a fused rod of bone as you age. This is exactly how you stay athletic while everyone else is slowing down. Now that we've untangled the front of your hips and given your spine some breathing room, we need to dive into the deep, rotational capacity of the joint itself. This is where we break out the 90-90 stretch, which I consider the heavy hitter for hip health. You're going to sit on the floor with your front leg bent at a 90-degree angle and your back leg trailed out to the side, also at a 90-degree angle. This setup targets both internal and external rotation, or simply put, the hip's ability to swivel in and out at the exact same time. Remember that tailbone awareness we just practiced in the cobra stretch? That same control over your pelvis is the secret sauce here. Instead of rounding your back to lean forward, you want to keep your spine tall and imagine you're pulling your tailbone back, hinging strictly at the hip crease. When the hips lose their ability to rotate, your lower back is forced to pick up the slack during every step or rotation, and the lower back is a fragile substitute for a massive ball and socket joint. Scientific research has established a direct link between hip internal rotation deficits and chronic lower back issues, so think of this move as your daily insurance policy against old man back. If you commit to 8 minutes every morning for the next few weeks, you'll start to notice a version of yourself that moves with more confidence and less creaking. And remember, that ebook I mentioned earlier is the full blueprint for making sure the body you're building is one that's actually designed to last for the long haul. It's waiting for you in the description below.